seated. The Bible clearly states in Matthew 24 that heaven and earth shall pass away. Jesus said, when this gospel is preached to the ends of the earth, then shall the end of the age come. I am right now preaching this gospel to the ends of the earth. Over those 6 high-definition cameras that are throughout this auditorium, they are connected to networks that are connected to 77 intercontinental ballistics that are showing television signals all over planet Earth on any nation that can receive the signal. We are fulfilling the book of Matthew every Sunday we walk into Cornerstone Church. The gospel is being preached to the ends of the earth. If you listen closely, you can hear the thundering hoofbeats of the 4 horsemen of the apocalypse as they race toward the battle of Armageddon and the end of the age. The Bible is very clear that the end of the age is going to be a reality. How it will end, where it will end, and the signs foretelling its conclusion. That's what makes this sermon today so apropos, because you are watching it on the television at night. But Ezekiel put it in the Bible thousands of years ago. First, make no mistake about this, that Jesus Christ, the Son of the living God, who rose from the grave, ascended to his Father in heaven, is literally, physically, personally coming back to the earth again. He will appear in the clouds of heaven. The trump of God will sound. The dead in Christ will rise. And we which are alive and remain shall be caught up to be with the Lord in the air. There's going to be a leaving in the air. And we're getting ready to leave this place. Give the Lord praise in the house. On this earth, every night, you now see the battle for the Arabian states, all the way from Morocco over to Turkey. You are seeing the Battle of Jerusalem that's been going on now for several years. This is a battle between light and darkness. Why? God has promised his Son, Jesus Christ, that he would set up his throne on the Temple Mount and rule forever. Satan, the prince of darkness, has promised the Antichrist that he, the Antichrist, would set Satan's image up and the world would worship him there. So it is a battle for the supremacy of the city of Jerusalem, because the kingdom of light and the kingdom of darkness wants that city. Why? Because as God says, as the mountains are round about Jerusalem, so am I ever round about those that believe. Therefore, if they can destroy the sovereignty of Jerusalem, they have destroyed in their mind the sovereignty of God. The battle of Jerusalem has begun. People ask the question, well, why can't the Jewish people and the Arab people get together over the city of Jerusalem? It is not money. It is not the issue of land. It is the issue of theology. Theology. Most Arabs are Islamic fundamentalists, and they believe that Muhammad was the only true prophet. Jesus said things that were good, but Muhammad was the absolute source of purity. They believe that the Quran is the only source of absolute truth. The Bible has some truth, but the Quran is absolute truth. An infidel, that would be Christian or Jew, has one choice: to be converted to Islam or to be killed. Muhammad taught the theology of triumphalism. Triumphalism simply means it is God's will for Islam to rule over the earth. Islam means submission. That's the reason the Islamic Tower is the highest point in any city. It must have a position of supremacy. Muhammad made war holy. He wrote in Surah 9:5 out of the Quran, quote, "Fight and slay the pagans," that would be Christians and Jews, "wherever you find them. Beleaguer them and lie in wait for them in every strategy of war." End of quote. That simply means what it means. There is a violent theocratic dictatorship being born in Iran that fully intend to overtake the world with war. Muhammad wrote again in Surah 5:33, quote, "The punishment of those who wage war against Allah is execution or crucifixion or the cutting off of hands and feet from the opposite sides." That is a very radical and extreme religious expression. Radical Islamics who die killing infidels, that would be you and you and you and me, go straight to heaven, where 70 virgins await to fulfill their every sexual pleasure. Problem, sitting in the throat of these Islamic nations is Israel, who has an unconditional blood covenant from the God of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob that the land is theirs forever and forever. God did not loan the land of Israel to the Jewish people. He gave it to them in a blood covenant. It's registered in the book of Genesis. Its metes and boundaries are given in the Bible. God says, I keep covenant for 1,000 generations. The land belongs to Israel. Here's the theological impasse. Islamic fundamentalists believe that Muhammad taught what was absolutely true, that it's God's will, that God being Allah, for them to rule the earth through the law of Sharia. Therefore, if they cannot defeat Israel, Muhammad was wrong, and the Quran is not true. That is absolutely unthinkable, totally unacceptable. Therefore, they must destroy Israel, because if Israel survives, Islamic theology is wrong. How many of you understand that? It's a theological issue to the core. The Islamic fundamentalists will never abide by any peace treaty. If they sign a peace treaty, it will be for a period of 7 years, and for the purpose of rebuilding their army until they're strong enough to defeat the one with whom they signed the peace treaty. In Islam, there's something called hudna, H-U-D-N-A, hudna. It means that if you tell a lie and it advances the cause of Islam, you will be blessed of God for that. There are politicians in Washington who practice hudna every day. They just don't know what it is. What you see developing on the television screen is the rebirth of the Persian Empire from Morocco all the way over to Turkey. I mean, within a matter of days. It began with Egypt, and now the world is reverberating with things that are so mind-boggling. People are saying, where is the world going? The battle for Jerusalem continues, and it's going to intensify. The war that will affect every person in the world concerns Jerusalem. People ask, well, how could Iran bring chaos to America instantly, cheaply, and quickly? Here's how. The Senate Judiciary Subcommittee on Terrorism Technology, chaired by Senator John Kyle of Arizona, held a hearing on the electromagnetic pulse threat against America. Military experts believe that Iran could attempt to use this electromagnetic pulse that I'm going to call the EMP against America. Here's what the EMP does. The EMP blanket does not kill people. In short, it stops every form of electricity instantly and for months and maybe years. Here's how our military experts believe it could be used against American warfare. Many believe Iran will try the EMP before they attempt any kind of nuclear warfare. Why? Because they can conquer instantly without firing a shot. A fake satellite crossing over America at the height of 280 miles that can be shot off of the back of a fishing boat 100 miles offshore, and it reaches an altitude of about 280 miles over the Great Plains of the United States, releasing several pounds of enriched plutonium, which blankets America with gamma rays. Instantly, in a fraction of a second, all electrical power is cut off instantly.